welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Remy and I share lots of vegan recipes and tips to help you live well. And today we're going to be talking about money. I don't think I've ever talked about this on my channel, but it is definitely a part of well-being. I think financial wellness is something that is often left out of the conversation that is important to our well-being. So we're going to talk about it today. I seen this video trending. It was maybe a couple years ago that it was really trending, but I had never really considered filming one myself. I think a lot of us have a lot of awkwardness around money, but I'm a full believer in normalizing talking about money. So hopefully in making this video, I am contributing to that conversation in a positive way. I also feel like I'm opening up a can of worms and opening myself up to criticism. But with that said, I tried my best this week to spend as I typically would. I mean, it's impossible to completely forget that you're filming this video, so of course it plays a little bit into how you're spending your money, but I tried my best to just stay true to what I would normally spend in a week. So to start, I should probably mention that I do content creation full time, so I guess you could call me an influencer. And before that, I had one corporate job, and I quit that job with not enough money in the bank at the time to pay my rent, so it was really risky, and that was how I learned what net 30 meant. My mindset around money has changed a lot over the years. I think naturally there's some underlying Asian money guilt always, so I try to be frugal, but at the same time I really believe in living your life and enjoying the hard work that you do. So I guess a little bit of work hard, play hard. I have been self-funded ever since college. I picked up multiple jobs during the semester, and then every summer I would have a job as well. So it's been something that has been important to me. I feel like money can allow you freedom in a sense. I know that a lot of people look at influencers and think that it's a lot of family money and just privilege to be able to become an influencer, but the truth is I built this up very slowly to where it is now, and it's really exciting because now I'm able to pay people what I feel their worth is. So supporting small business is really important to me, and supporting other entrepreneurs. Obviously my job is going to play a little bit into things that I don't spend on, because one of the perks of working in this industry is that you do get a lot of things for free. Nothing in life is really free. Let me just put that out there. I think there's an underlying expectation that you're going to be posting an exchange or doing some kind of work, so it's all a trade. Nothing is truly free. Okay, so my expenses, obviously rent. I do not have a car, but you'll see that that plays out in Lyfts and Ubers and sometimes Bird expenses. I also have a cat. He costs me some money, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I also have a couple of freelancers that I've contracted. But aside from that, my main expense would probably be food for content creation, really. I invest a lot of my money back into my business. The way that I organize this video is basically almost vlog style, so we'll go through the week and I'll just tell you what the daily total is, and at the end we'll talk about the final total. I started this video on a Sunday because the idea came to me randomly, and I was like, let me just start filming before I regret the decision. I was really on the fence about it just because I was nervous. But to start the day, I did some at-home morning yoga. It's a Zoom virtual yoga that two of my friends do together, and technically they always tell me that I don't have to pay them, but it is kind of like a pay what you want donation-based model. Technically there's no price on it, but usually the standard donation is about $10. I'll usually pay anywhere from $10 to $20, just depending on my mood. Again, I like to support people who are good at what they do. So that was $10. For like a little brunch, we were gonna go out to get bagels actually, but the line was so long that we ended up going to our favorite gluten-free spot instead. Gluten-free things are a little bit pricier typically, but I usually get like a breakfast plate of sides because there are a couple of things on the avocado toast. By the way, I hate paying for avocado toast out. I feel like it's robbery usually. But anyway, their avocado toast is like $16, and it has a bunch of things I don't like on it. So I usually just get a side of avocado, a side of their gluten-free bread, and then some potatoes. And it comes out to, I think, like $12 or something like that. And then also a chocolate peanut butter cookie, but I actually didn't pay for brunch, so technically that's $0. I did, however, buy the bread. So we brought home a gluten-free baguette, and then also a buckwheat sourdough bowl. Homemade gluten-free bread is not the cheapest thing. This was $20 and then the baguette was $8, but it's really so good.
if you've eaten gluten-free bread, you know that some bread out there is really quite awful. So when it's things like this, like I pay for it. I feel like having dietary restrictions can be a little bit pricey in and of itself, but I am the type of person that tends to spend a little bit more on food versus like fashion things. So bread was bought. For the rest of the day, I don't think there's anything that I'm really doing out or anticipating needing to pay for. The only thing I need to get is some new litter for the cat because we switched to a new litter and he absolutely hates it. So I just have to like rush order it and Instacart it, which like adds a little bit of a fee. But I think, again, if it's for someone else, I'm always willing to spend and I'll buy like the best. When it's for myself, not so much, but for my cat, for anyone like my loved ones, friends, family, I will splurge. But yeah, I'm gonna buy cat litter and then right now I'm gonna make a matcha latte at home. I barely ever have matcha lattes out anymore because honestly, the ones I make at home usually taste a lot better. And of course, it's a lot more affordable. So let's make a latte. A matcha at a coffee shop, by the way, can cost up to like $8, especially if you don't drink milk, which I don't. So for like an oat milk matcha, I paid up to like $8. Also, it can be really fun and kind of a nice little ritual to make your latte yourself. So. And a glass straw.
So for Sunday, total spend was $42.78.
Good morning, we're gonna go to a workout class. I have my own matcha and I took a lift here. We'll talk about it later. Okay, workout class is done. I think the cost of it is something like $25, but I did it through ClassPass and I work with ClassPass, so technically I did not pay for it. The Uber ride I do pay for both ways, so since I forgot to get the new cat litter yesterday, I'm gonna try and pick it up at Whole Foods right now. And I need to get new cat food for him as well because my kitty is a chunky boy. He loves food and he's just flying through his food subscription. So before I can up that, I just need to grab something for in between. So we're gonna go to Whole Foods. I feel like Whole Foods doesn't really have the best reputation for being affordable. Come here. So you haven't missed much, which is why I haven't really filmed much of today. Aside from that, haven't spent any money during the day. Actually, that's not true. I paid my video editor, so that is money spent, so I'll add that to the tab. But all my meals I ate at home and I was just working on new recipes and filming videos and things like that. So now I am headed out to dinner with Brandon and friends, and we're gonna go to, I think it's in Koreatown. Normally I would have to Uber or Lyft there, but because Brandon's driving, I don't have to do that. If I had a car, there would be expenses tied to that too, especially with gas prices nowadays. Just throwing that out there because I feel like that's important to mention. So let's head to dinner and then we'll see what the damage is. Actually though, we're going to a restaurant that has pretty limited vegan options, so what usually ends up happening is I'll order sides or just order very lightly. I've kind of done that vegan thing where I've eaten a little bit already before the meal. It's also really late though. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't usually eat past 8 and we're having dinner at 8:45. So either way I would have needed to eat, but we'll see what I actually end up ordering.
So I paid an Uber fee of $10.95, which is actually pretty decent. Sometimes the prices are pretty crazy, even though I'm not going very far. $47.46 spent at Whole Foods. I also picked up some sustainable litter that my cat needed. And then the Lyft ride home was another $13.70. The rest of the day I didn't spend any more money. Ended up going out for dinner, but I didn't spend. And I also ended up paying a contractor $201.25. That's kind of technically like a business expense. I wouldn't say it's really something I spent. So I don't know if I'll really count that, but excluding that, the total spend for the day was $71.22. Not too bad, but I feel like Whole Foods always gets you, and it's definitely not the cheapest place to shop, but I just kind of like to lump my errands together.
Today's Tuesday. I have a shoot to do today in downtown LA, and I need to get ready for that. I also got my period today, which for most people would be an expense, you know, buying feminine products, as they call them, or feminine hygiene products, is actually not cheap. Like, that's a cost that definitely adds up. And I've done the math on this before because all the products that I use on my period are sustainable and reusable, and therefore I don't spend like a single dime on period products, or I haven't since I've switched. So that's a benefit. Good for the earth, good for your wallet. I have a whole video on that if you want to check it out. But just throwing that out there because that would normally be an expense. There may be expenses for like things that I want to eat, like snacks on my period or chocolate, but I need to get ready right now. So I will see you when we leave. So I ordered a gluten-free pizza from this vegan restaurant, kind of impulsive, but like I said, I'm on my period and we got home from the shoot and it's really late and I'm really hungry. So here's the total amount and here's the pizza.
Tuesday I got my period and I just was pretty dysfunctional. I ended up ordering pizza in. I don't order in food all that often, but I feel like when I'm really in physical pain like that, I just can't be bothered to cook at home, and it's like cravings are a little bit more crazy, so you end up going for like junkier things. At least I do. So the pizza, which was like a Postmates delivery, was $29.43, and once again vegan and gluten-free, so like there's an added cost in that. Obviously a regular pizza would be a little bit cheaper, but it's really good. I highly recommend if you live in LA. Pura Vida, so good. So the total spend for Tuesday was $29.43. The rest of the day I did absolutely nothing. I kind of canceled my plans for the rest of the day, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were kind of a wash. I stayed home, I worked. Wednesday was kind of a wash, I didn't do anything, but Thursday, Friday, I stayed home and I worked and ate all my meals at home. So that was a no spend. I figured it wasn't worth vlogging because there was like nothing to even talk about. So it's about like 7:30 on a Saturday morning. I have my homemade matcha here, but I'm gonna grab bagels. I think I mentioned the other day, was it Sunday, that I wanted to get bagels and we ended up not getting bagels. And I've been wanting bagels for a while, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. It's close to my Pilates class, or close enough. We're gonna stop by early because I'm an early bird, and we're gonna get some bagels. So we're gonna take another lift to the actual class because it's close, but not that close. But the good news is I found out that one of the community fridges, which is like this little fridge that I donate things to when I'm in the area, there's one right around the corner of my Pilates place, so now it's gonna be my go-to spot to drop things off. I'm not kidding, I think I see a line. You guys see that? Oh my god. It's poppin'. Courage Bagels is really good. We got a mini bagel with cashew cream cheese. Their vegan cream cheese is so good. Saturday was a little bit of a more exciting day. The bagels that I didn't end up getting the first day I started filming, I went to go buy. So what I did was, because it's fairly close to the Pilates class I had that day, I decided to basically go to the bagels first, go to my Pilates class, and then after my Pilates class, I dropped off some extra food that we had into like this free food pantry. It's like a community fridge in LA. So I ended up taking 3 lifts. So the first lift was 10:06, the second lift was 18:48, the third lift was 8:56, and then the bagels, because I also took some to go, totaled out to 17:30. They're actually really affordable for how good they are and how much hype they get. Like, the line is always around the corner. So I mean, it's like, if you're gonna line up, you may as well take some home. You know what I mean, garbanzo bean? So the total spend for Saturday was 54.4. One thing I will say I really love about, I guess, this job that I do is that I do get to work with ClassPass, and they give me a complimentary membership up to like a certain amount of credits. So essentially I can book these workout classes for free. But like I said, it's not really free because in exchange you're posting about not only ClassPass but also the studios to kind of support their business. I end up kind of paying the cost of the class in my transportation. So it sort of evens out. But when I lived in New York and I would take the subway, the maximum it would cost me would be like $2.75, or I guess about $5 there and back. And I could take classes anywhere. So really in New York, the class cost for me would be about $5. Whereas in LA, it comes out to usually about like $20, $30 with the Ubers if it's that day. And then the grand total for the week was $197.83. That's actually a lot less than I would have expected. Factoring in the payment that I sent to my video editor, hi Emily, because she's probably gonna be editing this video, that is $399.08. So for the week, about $400. Looking at my spend for the week, I'm honestly not too surprised because I feel like the majority of my spend I already knew was gonna be in transportation. I didn't have to like do any big grocery shops this week, so that's a cost that I feel like would bump up the price a little bit more, generally like maybe $50 to $70. But aside from that, this is pretty accurate and is basically what my spending looks like day to day. If you take away anything from this video, it's that this could actually be kind of a fun exercise for you to do if you can look back on a week without thinking too hard about spending. Like, I think the pressure of knowing that you're filming this video contributes to the way that you spend for sure, but it's kind of nice to see where you spend most of your money. And everyone prioritizes different things. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way to be spending. Obviously, there are a lot of expenses that weren't shown today just because I didn't happen to pay for them this week. Things like, you know, therapy, I pay for that on a monthly fee, groceries that I usually buy. But overall, I think this paints a pretty accurate picture. I'm curious to see what you guys think or how your week of spending kind of stacks up. And I'm hoping that this sheds a little bit of light on maybe what it's like to be an influencer. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm still a little bit nervous to post it, but if you enjoyed it, let me know, and please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any other video suggestions that you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments below, and hit that subscribe button. Bye!